Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into an absolutely extraordinary historical and spiritual narrative today, sourced directly from the biographical account The Life and Devotion of Gopala Bhatta Gosvami. If you're fascinated by that incredibly rare intersection where deep personal dedication meets recorded historical miracles, well, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, let's just jump right into what is arguably one of the most mind-blowing questions out there. How in the world does a perfectly smooth, naturally occurring riverstone inexplicably reshape itself overnight? We're going to explore a story of lifelong patience, intense spiritual devotion, and a breathtaking event from the year 1542 that, quite frankly, completely defies conventional explanation. Just to ground us before we get into the heavy details, here is a quick look at Gopala Bhatta Goswami's 75-year journey. From his birth in 1503 to a pivotal childhood meeting in 1511, his journey to Vrindavana at age 30, the miraculous appearance of the Radha-raman deity in 1542, and his disappearance in 1578. Let's start with a life-changing divine encounter in 1511 at Shri Radha-raman. So, taking us back to 1511, we're at the massive ancient temple of Shri Radha-raman, right on an island in the middle of the Kaveri River. Our source text provides this incredibly vivid description of Sri Gaur Hari, who we also know as Mahaprabhu. I mean, just listen to the sensory impact he had. The text says his chanting voice was so sweet it literally defeated the voices of 10 million celestial singers. People were absolutely dumbstruck. During this visit, Mahaprabhu stayed at the house of a local priest for 4 months, and it was there he formed a deep, affectionate bond with the priest's young son. That child was Gopal. Mahaprabhu would even offer the boy his own food remnants, essentially prepping him for a huge future in spiritual leadership. Next up, the journey to Vrindavana, filled with immense patience and devotion. When Mahaprabhu finally had to leave, young Gopal was completely devastated. He actually fainted at the Lord's feet. Now, you'd think he'd just pack his bags and follow him immediately, right? Actually, scratch that, he didn't. He was instructed to stay behind and serve his parents first. And this is where we really see his character solidify. He faithfully fulfilled those earthly duties. For years, while caring for his aging mother and father, he mastered grammar, poetry, rhetoric, and Vedanta. He just waited. He remained fiercely devoted to his parents until their final days, and it was actually them who finally instructed him to go to Vrindavana. By the time Gopal finally makes his way to Vrindavan, he is 30 years old. But tragically, he realizes he had just missed Mahaprabhu. You can imagine the heartbreak. However, Mahaprabhu actually knew Gopal was coming, and he sent a messenger with these incredibly sacred gifts. We're talking his personal wooden sitting plank, a pair of his undergarments, and an upper cloth. Even though he was sad to miss him in person, Gopal was absolutely ecstatic to receive these. And what's wild is that these items are so revered, they are literally still worshipped today at the Radha-raman Mandir, sitting on that exact same wooden plank.
Which brings us to his pilgrimage to Nepal's river and the sacred stones.
After Mahaprabhu passed away, a grieving Gopal received a dream instructing him to travel to Nepal. And the crucial element here is the Shaligrama Shila. These are sacred, naturally occurring round stones found specifically in the Kali Gandaki River. In this tradition, they aren't just symbolic. They're worshipped as direct physical manifestations of the divine. So, picture this. It's almost like a fairy tale. Gopal goes to the river to bathe. He dips his water pot in, and surprisingly, several of these sacred Shilas just flow right into it. Feeling maybe unworthy or just shocked, he drops them back into the water. But then he dips the pot again and boom, 12 Shilas magically reappear inside. Taking this as a very clear sign of divine mercy, he wraps these 12 sacred stones in a cloth and brings them all the way back to Vrindavan. And now, the main event, the miracle of Radha-raman and a night of transformation. The year is 1542, and the catalyst here is a wealthy donor who rolls into Vrindavan. But there's a heartbreaking physical mismatch. The donor brings these incredibly valuable, beautiful clothes and intricate ornaments, but Gopala Bhatta only has his 12 round-shaped Shaligrama Shilas. I mean, smooth, round stones simply cannot wear shirts, pants, or jewelry, right? Gopal actually tells the donor to just give the items to someone else, but the donor absolutely insists on leaving them. Left with these beautiful clothes and his round stones, Gopal falls into a deep, transcendental lamentation. On the holy day of Nrsimha Chaturdasi, he just pours his heart out, praying, "Oh my Lord, you are very merciful. If I had a deity, then I would be able to decorate him so nicely with these clothes and ornaments." He just possessed this profound, burning desire for a form with arms, legs, and a smiling face that he could serve.
That evening, after offering his standard prayers, he does something completely ordinary. He just puts the stones to rest, covers them with a standard little wicker basket, and goes to sleep. It's a quiet night in Vrindavan. He wakes up early the next morning, goes to bathe in the Yamuna River, and comes back to his small dwelling to uncover the stones for morning worship. And here is where it gets literally unbelievable: the morning discovery. According to the source material, an absolute miracle happened beneath that basket overnight. He lifts it up and finds that only 11 round Shilas are left. The 12th stone, the Damodara Shila, had completely reshaped itself. It had manifested into this stunning threefold bending form of Krishna playing the flute. Gopal was so overcome with emotion, he just fell to the ground in total ecstasy. And the physical details of this transformed deity, named Shri Radha-raman Deva, are what make this so fascinating. It is not just some rough, vague shape. We're talking intricate fingernails, visibly carved-looking teeth. Yet if you look at the backside, it still shows the smooth markings of the original round river stone. And to give you a modern perspective on this, the text notes that scientists later came to examine the deity. They looked closely, probably trying to debunk the whole thing, but they found absolutely zero evidence of tool marks or carving. It was just a flawless, self-manifested form. Let's look at a legacy of pure devotion: the festivals, the literature, and the profound humility. This wasn't just a one-off event. To really grasp how this legacy lives on, think about the famous Snanyatra festival. Picture a Vrindavan summer. We're talking 40+ degrees Celsius, easily. It is blistering, and the crowds are desperate for relief. During this festival, the deity takes a public bath, and the temple fires up this high-speed rotating fan equipped with pipes that literally showers the devoted, overheated crowds with cooling water. It is this amazing, tangible continuation of the joy associated with this deity. And look at the sheer scale of Gopala Bhatta Goswami's broader legacy. On the deity's appearance day alone, 500 liters of milk are offered. That is an absolutely massive amount, maintaining the highest standard of worship. For guardianship, he passed the torch to a devoted young boy named Gopinatha, and his descendants actually still maintain the temple today. On the intellectual side, he compiled monumental texts like the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, which is basically the definitive, foundational guide for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But here is the real kicker. Despite living in Vrindavan for 45 years, establishing one of its most famous temples, and shaping the spiritual lives of countless people, his defining trait was just profound humility. The era's definitive historical text is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he explicitly requested the author to completely leave his name out of the book. He wanted absolutely no personal fame. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Think back to his 30 years of waiting, his diligent service to his parents, his unshakable faith. What kind of quiet, patient devotion is so incredibly powerful that it can literally reshape solid stone overnight? It's a truly fascinating question to ponder, whether you're looking at it through the lens of history, theology, or just the sheer raw power of human dedication. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore the remarkable life of Gopala Bhatta Goswami.